my name is Mark. I sing for the band Guttermouth, and this is Alex, my drummer for Guttermouth. He's an Australian citizen here in the U.S. for this first time, and basically, oh shit, we gotta take a break.
We're gonna take a break.
So anyway, my friend Alex here, it's his first trip to the States, and he's pretty mortified at what he's seen thus far. The amount of fast food, the restaurants on every corner, because back in Australia it's pretty much ma and pa stuff everywhere you go. Ma and pa, you know, restaurants, ma and pa shops, ma and pa everything, where we're chain, bad food, bad everything. He's actually put on a ton of weight on this trip, as have I, as is everyone, because there's nothing good to eat in the States. It's hard to eat well when you're traveling. I mean, this is our third week out, and it's mortifying. He's mortified, pretty shocking. Oh, and here he comes. What's up?
Oh, but it's just waiting for some friends to come to the show and talk to us.
Right. I think we're in a lot of trouble. I think we're in deeper trouble than most people think, and most people are conveniently ignoring. And why they're conveniently ignoring it, I don't know. The only thing that seems to be ruffling anyone's feathers is a little bit of Tea Party action. Other than that, people are asleep at the wheel as usual. Status quo Americanism. Well, I've worked the 9-to-5 thing a million times, you know. I did it for years and years. I haven't had a job since probably 1995. I've worked for myself the entire time, and I have the freedom to do whatever I want, when I want. I have the freedom to earn as much money as I want, or as little as I want. It's my choice, it's my will, it's my drive or lack of drive at that juncture, you know. And that's what I think people get caught up in 9-to-5 stuff, and they lose drive. That's why I think a lot of businesses fail, is their employees get complacent and bored in the routine and mundaneness and mundane atmosphere of the 9-to-5 job. Where's the motivation to progress and try and climb the corporate ladder? Because the corporate ladder has lost all its rungs, pretty much. You know, it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it does exist, but for the select few who have inside, you know, information basically, or family things, and, you know, it just isn't there. So I think starting up your own entity and doing it on your own is the only way to go. For instance, Alex here, he's our booking agent in Australia, as well as our drummer. He does whatever he wants, when he wants. He books bands from all over the world in Australia. I mean, and he's trying to book us in Thailand right now. He booked us in Malaysia, New Zealand, where else do we go? Singapore,
Malaysia, Thailand, Japan.
How old are you?
Australia, 22.
22 years old. He's doing all this. And let me tell you, his tours are smashing. They're successful. One of the best promoters I've ever worked with is 22 years old.
For the same reason as I believe we're even having this interview, is like you're talking about this, like, is entrepreneurship the way to go and starting your own business the way to go? I agree it is, but I also do think that you got to go into it in the right way. Make sure you got a product that you can sell, but it seems in the USA it's so easy to not do that. It's so easy to just get a job in a chain, and people, it's not like your government's like promoting that so hard that it seems to be an easy way out, is just working for someone else and doing the 9-to-5 thing and just getting your paycheck. But you know, if you want to make real money, then you got to have to run your own business. But at the same time, running your own business, you got to have a good idea. And I mean, I got into it because I love touring bands, and I started booking bands and just built my way up, and it started working. But I've done the research behind it as well. I mean, you know, I've made mistakes, I've made money and I've lost money. Like, dude, I suppose it's all part of, especially the music industry, is very risky business as it is, but you know, you can eliminate as much risk as possible. So,
I had to go take a leak.
Of course. Yeah. We got a toilet in the RV, which is pretty fucking disgusting actually, but it does the job.
You gotta do the hovercraft. This is all public information. Everyone knows this stuff, but no one does the homework to realize it.
Everyone can.
For some reason, I do. I mean, we've been a corrupt nation since day one, and I mean, what do? Do you fight it, or do you just accept it and melt in and do the best you can? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I know playing music isn't going to change anything. Music doesn't change anything. I mean, I wish I could use it as a weapon or as a tool, but you really can't. I mean, the songs I'm writing now, like we just released a 3-song split with this other band, but 2 of the songs are, really political, and that's just the avenue I'm going down, because I'm getting older and I'm fed up. It's pathetic, and I'd like to open some eyes somehow. And people, that's one thing about Americans, and you know this, they don't travel. I've been lucky enough to travel the world, several times over, and I've seen different cultures, multiple countries, many countries, and spent a lot of time there. And Americans don't travel, so they don't get out of their comfort zone and experience what else life has to offer. Plain and simple.
That's a huge.
Live a little simpler. I think is important.
Hugely important.
Americans live beyond their means, excessively flashy. Flashy is so important. And like where I live in Southern California, I mean, I drive a 2005 Scion. You can't get girls in a 2005 Scion. You need a BMW. I'm serious, dude.
You need a fucking pickup truck.
I can actually.
With wheels like this big and stupid rims.
Yep.
And a fucking V8 5.7 liter motor to drive from around LA. I see these. That's a huge thing I know. So you were driving through LA and seeing monster trucks, stuff that.
And BMWs and Mercedes up the ass,
Yeah, that. But mostly there
was something in the LA Times about young people 23 to, I think it was 23 to like almost 30, and they said most of these young people were leasing Mercedes-Benz or BMWs at the rate of approximately $800 a month just to express flash and pizzazz and make people think they're someone they're not. And that's the problem with America is the excess and how it's gone. In the big scheme of things, drug dealers are entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of people who've turned to that in the States, to make money, to make ends meet. And not that it's right, but they've gone that route. There was recently a USA Today poll that said they only surveyed 3,000 people, but 53% said that a college education was worth the investment at this juncture. So it's getting less and less important. It's kind of who you know, what you can create. And you don't need a college education to do that.
I think the way that everyone should live their life is having fun and living your life. At the same time, you got to think about the people that you're going to be responsible for. That's the one thing that plays on my head. I could bum around and just take drugs and deal drugs and live a fucking rock star life, but no one's gonna benefit from what I've done if I do that. That's the only reason that you need a happy mix of both. You keep yourself happy, but I want to even if I don't have kids, my family, I know my 2 sisters are gonna have kids, you know what I mean, and I hope that I can somehow contribute to the future for them, whether it be by creating a statement which is going to influence people to follow in my footsteps, or whether it be just a financial thing, or whether it be anything. But I need some ongoing.
I don't think living an unincorporated life it has to be selfish in any way. No. It's just you're creating your own entity and your own destiny.
Yeah.
It's you're not relying on someone else. Like I've heard some of the rhetoric in the RV about people who say, "Oh, I helped build this business for these other people, and then they laid me off." I'm like, well, and they complain about it. It's like, come on, guess what? That's the way it works, unfortunately. And they complain about it, but they do nothing about it. They don't go out and start their own enterprise. They just look for the next job.
There's nothing wrong with doing that and then stealing all the ideas, and then suddenly you know how to do it. But then go out and fucking.
Robert Kiyosaki said one thing: work for one reason. Work for knowledge and education and learning. Don't work for money. So take that knowledge and education when you're out there working that 9 to 5, if you have to, for some reason. Take that knowledge and what you can learn out of that, suck it up, and go use it in a positive way for yourself. That's what's most important.
Definitely. And if you have to resort to doing the 9 to 5 thing, which people just have to do sometimes, you got to pay bills.
It's not a perfect
reality.
world.
It's not a perfect world. But if you have to resort to that, which most people do something that's going to be productive in whatever area it is. If it is, say, in my situation, it's music touring. So if I was to work 9 to 5, I'd try and get a job for a music touring company and learn as much shit as I can, steal all their ideas. Not steal their ideas, you know, just learn, but basically fucking steal their ideas, learn from them, and then that's also going to be paying the bills. So really I'm getting education and also getting paid, and then I'm going to get to a point where I can split and do my own thing, which I haven't had to work for someone else yet, which is, I've been lucky with that, but that's my plan B. If a shit hit fan tomorrow, I would get a job working for a touring company and learn a little bit more, and then realize where I made mistakes, and then go back out and do it again by myself.
Because you can always start over. You can always start over. It doesn't matter.
No matter what you do, you
Yep.
can start over. As long as you're not behind bars, you can start over.
Well, let's stay away from that one.
Yeah, well,
I gotta change my clothes and get my shoes on and go play a show. So,
but
on
yeah,
that
if you're
note-
gonna come to Orlando, let's talk more, and let's talk
Bloom's
more
supposed to
before
be
we
there.
put it to camera, and then really,
Yep, that's what I hear.
Ronald McDonald's coming as well.